Hello y'all, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're returning. My name is Amy and this is Amy's Lifestyle and Budget, where we do all things living life on a budget. In today's video, we are going to talk about my top 5 budget tips. I've been budgeting for just over a year now, so these are the things that really helped me stay committed to the budgeting journey. So if that's something you're interested in hearing, please keep on watching and let's get on into the video. It's better when I do that and then there's like a break and you just see my hands. It's a little awkward like this, but it is what it is. So my first tip is, number 1, track your spending. So if you are starting your budget, I can like see the lighting in my glasses, so if that irritates you too, my bad. But start tracking your spending. If you're starting new on a budget, your budgeting journey, and you're just trying to figure out how to even start, like how much money do I put per category? How do they come up with these numbers? Are they arbitrary? Is it what they want? Like, how does this work? Track your spending. So what I did was I took 3 months, printed out my bank statements, and went line by line through all of my expenses, and I categorized it based on what that expense was, and then I added all of that up for the month, and I got a total like amount, and I did that for 3 months. So when I started November, really, yeah, like November, December of 2022. So I took September, October, and November. September, October, November, printed out all of my transactions and I categorized them. And then I averaged, for the most part, I averaged between those 3 months. So like if I spent $150 on household items in September, but I only spent $50 in October and I spent $100 in November, then I made that budget $100, right? There were some things that were really eye-opening when I did this, which was my food spending, eating out. I was spending hundreds of dollars every month eating out, which is like a huge money suck. And because I wasn't tracking, I had like no idea where my money was going. All I knew is I had a credit card bill every single month carry over, and I was just really over it. So yeah, track your spending. That's a good place to start for where to set your budget. And then also it keeps you honest. Like I said, it was eye-opening to see how much I was spending in certain categories that I had no business spending in. And it also puts you in control, right? It puts you in control because now you know exactly where you're spending your money. It's not this arbitrary bill you get at the end of the month or this arbitrary amount that you end with at the end of the month. You know exactly where you're spending your money, which puts you in the position to make those changes if you want to or need to. And again, I recommend 3-month minimum to try to track that and get started. That being said, I just said I recommend. I have no business recommending anybody to do anything. I'm not licensed. I didn't go to school for this. This is just something that I needed to adjust in my own life. So take that for what it is. But I'm just a girl out here living my life on a budget. So let's go to step number 2. Determine your needs versus your wants. Now, that seems so simple when you say it like that, right? But like, be brutally honest. You don't need to get your hair done. You don't need to get your nails done. You don't need to eat out, right? Those are conveniences and those are experiences that you may want. But again, you don't need them. You need to pay your bills. You need to have car insurance. You need to fill in the blank. And obviously that's going to be so different for each of us. Some people don't have to pay rent because they still live with their parents. Some people don't have electric bills because it's built into their rent. Like, you really, it's, think about your life, be brutally honest with yourself and say, okay, is this a need or a want? Once you've done that, you can rank your wants. So we all have a finite budget, right? We only get what we're paid for what we're working unless we increase our hours, etc. So you know how much you bring in every pay period. Rank your wants, because after all of your needs are accounted for, the remaining amount of your budget can be split across your wants. And if you've ranked your wants, then you know, hey, I'm going to get 2 out of my X number of wants because of the money that I make now. I can either make more money via promotion or get a secondary job or get a new job that pays more, etc. Or I can be okay with that and work to fit my wants into my budget. Again, last kind of umbrella for determine needs for wants, not umbrella, but last point under this umbrella is doing this helps you set realistic goals and motivates you. Nothing is more unmotivating than setting goals for yourself and not being able to accomplish them. And so when you know what your needs and wants are, and you know what wants you can reasonably achieve with your budget, that's going to motivate you, because then you can set realistic goals and you won't get disengaged from not meeting them. All right, moving right along. Let's move into number 3, which is prioritize debt repayment. If you owe somebody money, that is a need, not a want. Like, you need to pay them back, because like Dave Ramsey likes to say, the borrower is slave to the lender. All right, so prioritize your debt repayment. Nothing feels better than not owing anybody anything. It took me a number of years to finally get to the point where I was sick of always having this lingering cloud that is my credit card debt over my head. But once I paid it off and consistently stayed out of debt, like, it is so freeing to know that 100% of my money gets to go places that I want it to go. Not I have to pay, fill in X bank every single month. So prioritize your debt repayment, because once it's gone, a weight has lifted, the sun is out, and you can start living your life the way that you want to live it. Number 4. Number 3 is really expensive. What? Number 3 is really important, but I don't want to stick there too long, because we all know that we should be paying off our debts. So moving on into number 4, write it down and reference often. Write your budget down and reference it as much as you need, because you can stay aligned to your plan that way. You can reconnect and curb those impulses. If you're looking at your budget and somebody asks, oh, hey, you want to go out to lunch today at work? And you're like, I'm over budget already. Or, oh, I just went out last week, I only budgeted $30. Like, you can say no because you have it in front of you or you have it next to you. You're looking at it often and you're reconnecting to your plan. This also helps, like, as you write it down and as you reference it and as you're looking through it and as you're tracking your spending, like step 1, you can adjust as needed. So if you've been watching my videos, recently I had to increase my grocery budget because I was consistently busting my budget. I know that I was doing that because I write it down and I reference it and I track it. So now, because of those 3 things, I can increase it so that I don't have to worry about overspending. So write it down, reference often. And that brings us to our last step or tip, whatever you want to call it. Number 5, think long term. This may not be the best tip for everybody, but for me, when I plan long term, I am so motivated about my budget, and I'm much more likely to stick to it because I know that by doing this now, I'm accomplishing one of my long-term goals. I'm accomplishing something for my future. So I have goals all the way through like 2027 right now, which now that I say that, it's only 3 years, but I have so many goals written out that I look at all the time, because doing the things that I'm doing now is going to help me get to that goal. So for example, one of my long-term goals is to buy my next car in cash. And the way that I'm going to accomplish that goal is by budgeting now, paying off the things that I need to pay off now. For example, I'm getting married this year, and we have a goal, my partner and I, to pay off his truck this year, because once that's done, we can take all of that money that we would have been paying somebody else and putting it in our savings, so that over time we have enough money to pay cash for our next car. And I have that written out in my future plans, and I can look at that, and that makes it that much easier to say, you know what, no, I'm not going to have a $100 clothing budget. I really have all of the clothes that I could possibly need, and instead of that, I'm going to say $20 to clothes, and I'm going to take that other $80 and put it towards this long-term goal, because what I accomplish later is going to mean so much more to me than anything that I could do now in the short term, in terms of short-term gratification. So that pair of Lululemon pants that I really want to buy, that I choose not to, because I'm going to take that money and put it towards buying my next car. I'm not even going to remember not the feeling of buying those pants, but when I pay for that car in cash, like, that is going to be such a point of pride for me, and I'm going to like look back on that and feel so gratified, right, from doing the things that I needed to do to accomplish that goal. And it's going to mean so much more to have done that. So again, think long term, think about what you want for your future, and think about what you can do today to put you in a position to accomplish that goal then. That is my 5th and final tip for budgeting, starting a budget, continuing on a budget, thinking about budgeting. I'm going to stop saying the word budget. So have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this type of content. It's a little bit different from my typical content. So have a lovely day, and subscribe if you aren't already. Bye.